Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. So I know it has been a while since I have been on here, but I am back with another story time. So first things first, I do want to start being more consistent. I mean, at least a video a month. You know what I'm saying? Every 2 weeks, a month. Maybe I can get up to once a week, but just consistency, because consistency is key in all things, right? For the most part. Okay, so boom, this story time, I'm not gonna waste that time. I'm gonna get right into it because I am trying to record this when my kids are outside playing and the house is quiet. So this story takes place back in like 2008. Okay, so at this time my oldest daughter is like 4. You know what? And I need to do a story time on like being a teen mom, or like 16 and pregnant, 15 and pregnant, or whatever. Okay, but another story time for another day. Okay, so anyway, my oldest daughter at this time was about 4. You know what? I might need to tell a backstory in order to tell this story for y'all to really get the full drift. So you know what, scratch that. I'm gonna tell a story first, and then either it's gonna be a part 2 or a separate story time, depending on how long it takes me to get through this part, or I might do it all in one story. But okay, so if you've seen my story time, we were still in, or something like that. Okay, I talk about a family member of mine that I was really close to. Like growing up, we were super tight. That was like my best friend, right? We kicked this super hard, all the things. Okay, so when that story time took place, we had fell out and reconnected at this time. I don't know if I touch on that in the story time, but boom, that's what happened. So I'm gonna tell y'all the reason why we fell out. Okay, initially with that. Okay, and then we kind of like, it was kind of weird, kind of dicey. We got back cool, and then we fell out again. We fell out several times, but we didn't start falling out until we really got older. We did have a fight in middle school, but it wasn't really anything, you know. But once we got older, okay, so boom. So this takes place in like 2005, because I graduated high school in 2006, okay? So this was senior year. Now, my family member that I was super close to, do I want to give her a name? I guess I should give her a name if I'm going to do like a little series of story times. So I'm going to call her, I'm going to call her Billy. Okay, I'm going to call her Billy, okay? Billy is not close to her name at all, anything like that. So, yeah. So, Billy and I have, again, been tight since, like, we really started getting really close when we were in middle school. Super close. So, she would come over to my house. I would come over to her house. We would just kick it every weekend together, you know, all the things, okay? So, once we got into high school, we kind of, like, she had her own set of friends. I had my own set of friends, but we were still close, right? So, senior year, we're the same age. Well, actually, she's like a year older than me, actually, or like 6 months older. She's a little bit older than me, but we're in the same grade. So, our senior year, we went to 2 different high schools. We did go to middle school together. High school, we went to 2 separate high schools, okay? So, something had happened in her home life where she didn't have a place to stay. So, well, not that she didn't have a place to stay, but she ended up getting put out her home or left her home. That's not my business. I'm not getting into that because that's irrelevant to the story. She ended up coming to stay with me, which I was staying with my mom at the time. So, she had a vehicle. She was working, had a vehicle, going to school. Something happened with her vehicle. I don't know if whatever happened with her home life, it got confiscated, or if her vehicle messed up. Not really sure, but she didn't have a vehicle. So we had my vehicle. So we had one vehicle between the 2 of us, right? So I was going to school, I was working, and I was going to Votech as well. So, and mind you, I had my baby, if I was 2005, she was like 1 or 2 at that time, okay? So, again, senior year. So she ended up coming to stay with me at my mom's house. So coming to stay with my mama, okay? We had just moved from the country. So we stay like in a really small town, like in the country. We call it the country, okay? So in a rural area. So it was probably about 20 minutes outside of the city. And that in the city is where everything transpired. That's where we would go to school. That's where we, you know, hung out. That's where everything was. So we ended up moving to the city from the country. So we were a lot closer to my cousin at the time, where far as like where her school was and where my school was, and you know, where everything was, okay? So she ended up coming to stay with us. Excuse me. Now, mind you, hold on. Okay, y'all. So one of my kids came back in. I had to pause this real quick. Okay. So boom. My cousin ended up, did I just say that? Did I just really say that? My family member, Billy, ended up coming to stay with us. We had recently moved from the country to the city. She came to stay with us. So where we moved was like on the north side, okay? So I went to school in like just outside of the north side. So maybe, I don't know, 15 minutes from, my high school was like 15 minutes from where we stayed at. Her high school was on the south side. So her high school was maybe like 30 minutes from where we stayed at, but it was opposite sides from where my school was. So again, we stayed on the north side. My school was on the border of the north side and a small town. So it was really in this like a suburb area, okay? So outside of the actual city. So I went to school in the suburb outside of the city. We stayed on the north side. She went to school on the south side of the city, which is the opposite side. And my school was even further from where she went to school, from where we stayed at, right? Okay, so boom. She also worked on the northwest side. So I hope y'all are keeping up, right? She worked on the northwest side. I was working at the time, I believe I was working at a call center in that suburb area, north side area, in the same area that my school was in. It was kind of like on the same side of town. If I'm not mistaken, that's where I was working at the time. And then I went to Votech on... So just giving you guys a clear image on what's happening. We lived on the north side, okay, of the city. I went to school in a suburb near the north side, like on the border, just outside of the north side, in a suburb, maybe 15 minutes away. Billy, my family member who I was very close to, who was staying with us at the time, went to school on the south side of the city, worked on the northwest side of the city. I went to Votech on the west side, and I worked on the northwest side, okay? Boom. I hope y'all got that. I hope it makes sense. Let that sink in. Okay, so she moves in with us, and everything is cool initially. I want to say, like I said, y'all, this took place in 2005. Of course, it is now 2023. That was almost 20 years ago, right? So I want to say when she initially moved in, she had a vehicle, but I think her vehicle either broke down or it got taken away or something happened with her vehicle. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, and she may not have had a vehicle at the time that she moved in at all. But if she did, shortly after she moved in, the vehicle got confiscated. It was gone, out of commission, no fucking vehicle, okay? That's that. So she then depended on me, because my mom worked early hours and long hours. So she was always at work. She had to be at work at like 4 o'clock in the morning, I want to say, or something. So she was long gone before her and I even got up for school. There was no way for her to take anybody to school, do any of the things, because all the stuff that we had to do throughout the day, we had to do throughout the day, right? Because she had to work. So, and I had my daughter at this time. Mind you, okay, so this is a lot. It's a lot going on, okay? It's a lot going on, okay? So, I'm trying to remember because there was another situation before this. There was another situation before this. I think it was junior prom. I believe it was junior prom because hold on. All right, so just a quick story time within the story time, right? I know it's a lot to get to the meat in the main course of this, okay? To the meat and the potatoes, but you got to get this appetizer to really fully understand everything that I'm about to say, and like to really get it, girl, just to get it all, okay? So, I was dating a guy at the time, who was older. He was had graduated high school. I want to say he was maybe like 3 or 4 years older. And so now that I think back to certain stuff, you know what? I'm not even going to get into that. But at this time, my boyfriend was like 19, 20. Okay, I want to say. And I'm like 16, 17. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. Okay. So, was this the summer before? It was. Okay, so this was like the end of the school year. It was junior prom. It was the end of the school year before senior year. Ooh, child, it was just a lot going on during that time. Right? Yeah. Yeah. That's what it was. Okay, so I didn't go to junior prom. I really wasn't studying. I ended up going to senior prom by myself, but because again I was with the same guy and he was again already out of school, so why would he, you know what I'm saying, like come to prom? So my cousin Billy she had kind of like wanted me to go to prom. Like I said, her and I were tight, but I was spending a lot of time with my boyfriend at the time, and I don't think that she really liked that. Her and I never had an altercation, or she never verbally said that she didn't like that. But when I reflect on like boyfriends and stuff that I dated throughout, like she was one of those friends. Okay, I was one of those people that whenever I had a boyfriend, I spent like a lot of time with my boyfriend. I would still hang out here and there or whatever with my, you know, my friends or whatever, but whenever I was in a relationship, I was more into my relationship. Call it what you want. I'm one of those girls that my man. Not to say that I don't love my friends and, you know, all of that stuff, but like if I got a man, then I'm gonna spend more time with my man. What is that light-skinned Keisha thing? Like, if they call, I'm coming. Like, what? And I just don't understand. I would never like feel a way about a friend or whoever, somebody that I'm close to, like having a man and spending time with a man and all of that. Like, I'm not your man. I'm your friend. I'll be here, girl. I got you. But I'm not a needy friend. Like, I'm not one of those friends that you just like, I need all your attention all the time. But some people are, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with that on either end. You just have to find somebody, even when it comes to friends, that you're compatible with, right? Okay, so I don't think her and I were really compatible, okay? But anyway, she had got really upset with me because she was either getting ready to go to prom, like her and her girlfriends were either getting ready to go to prom, or they came from prom or something, and she had came over to where my man be at and where I was at, okay? So we weren't actually at his apartment, because he had an apartment too, but he wasn't. It was like a mall apartment complex, but it was like multiple complexes all like in the same area. And his friends stayed in one apartment complex. He stayed in another. We weren't at his apartment complex. We were at his friend's apartments. So, like, then we were just over there chilling, and I had talked to her, whatever, and she had wanted to come through or whatever. And so she had came through. She kind of got upset with me because I didn't want to go with her and her friends to like an after party or something that had to do with prom. I was like, I don't want to go. Like, I'm not trying to do that. And she got upset with me about that. So it was kind of, you know, she kind of like, she get upset and like talk shit. I'm not the type of person, when I get upset, I don't really do like a lot of shit talking about the person. Like, if you mad, like, far as talking about like what we're mad about, that's one thing. But like talking shit about that person as a person is not something that I do. But she tended to do that when she would get upset, right? So, boom, neither here nor there. So, that happens. Now, I want to say again, this is like junior year. Summer happens, and then we're going into senior year of high school. And I was one of those people that, I guess I'm kind of passive aggressive, okay? Kind of passive aggressive, girl. Kind of passive aggressive. No, girl, you was passive aggressive. I am passive aggressive because I don't fear my aggression, but I don't like confrontation because I don't like to respond out of anger. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like getting worked up and then having a back and forth. You know, I just don't like that. So, because it just, to me, it never ends well and you never figure out anything. So, even though sometimes when I'm irritated and stuff, like my man or whatever, I want to talk about stuff. Like, I don't want to be confrontational and be angrily talking. So if you getting aggressive and you popping shit, I'm not really like trying to just really go into that like that, if that makes sense, right? So anyway, she would try to do that. I wouldn't really, you know, go there because I don't go there like that. That's just not my style, right? So whatever, that little situation happens. Moving forward, fast forward to senior year, she comes and stays with us. So boom, she loses her car, whatever. So she expected me, okay? She expected me to take her to school, get her from school, take her to work, get her from work. Now, and then take me to school, take me to Votech, take me to work. Like, it was a lot going on. Mind you, at the time, my daughter was 2 years old, my oldest daughter. So, whatever, we're trying to do this. Now, I might be lying on the coming and getting her from work or the taking her to work. I think I'm lying on the getting her from school and taking her to work. I want to say she had a ride. So she wanted me to take her to school and then pick her up from work. I think that's what it was. Okay, so she wanted me to take her to school. She had somebody or whatever from school, I believe, for the most part, to take her to work and then, or ride, you know, to work, and then would want me to come pick her up from work at night, in the evening or whatever. So that's how that worked, okay? And she was staying with us, okay? Now, again, mind you, I'm going to school, to Votech, to work myself, plus my baby. Taking her, dropping her off at daycare, or, you know, to, my grandma would watch her a lot. Her granny would watch her dad's mom would watch her a lot, and all of that during that time. So that was kind of like how things were going. So I ended up telling her, like, because it was a lot. Like, again, I work on this side of town. I go to school on this side of town. You go to school on the opposite side of town. You know what I'm saying? So I would have to get up extra early to take you to school, then to get me to school, and then to get me to Votech, and then get me to work, get off work, like, and my baby in between. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was just giving a lot, my girl. So, you know, I had said something to her about it, like, look, I'm not going to be able to take you to school, or I need some gas money. It was something to that effect, right? Either I needed some gas money, my girl, Miss Girl, or I'm not going to be able to just be taking you around like this. Like, it's just too much. Like, y'all, why did this girl get so mad at me? See, this be my thing with people, y'all. People be having this entitled shit. Like, they think that, oh, because I'm going through this, then somebody ought to just do X, Y, and Z for me. And if I choose you to be that person to do that for me, then you need to just be able to do that for me. And fuck what else you got going on. Fuck how it affects your life. Fuck you. Do what I need you to do for me. And that is something that I really have a problem with, because if I'm going through something, my shit is my shit, right? And I've always carried my shit. If I need help and I ask for help and somebody can help me, I'm grateful. If they can't do it, I am not going to be angry with them. I'm not going to hold that against them, because I have always had an understanding that people have their own lives and their own shit. Like, nobody's entitled to do anything I'm not entitled to anybody's time, to anybody's assets to anybody's, you know what I'm saying? Like that, it just don't work. Like in my mind, it just doesn't work like that. And I would not be angry with a friend for not being able to do something for me. You know what I'm saying? I might be angry at myself, and I think a lot of people misplace their anger. I might be angry at myself because I'm finding myself in these messed up situations or whatever, but I'm never going to like go off on my friend. So long story short, she ended up like going off on me. We had a little back and forth thing or whatever. And she ended up leaving my house. Now, when we were having a little back and forth, I really wasn't saying much. You know what I'm saying? She popped my shit. I might respond a little bit like, okay, girl, you know, whatever. But I wasn't just going off on her. She's going off on me. Like, you know what I'm saying? You act like you can't do X, Y, and Z for me, and blah, 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 and X, da, da, da. And all you don't care about nothing. You just care. Like, she bringing up shit that don't have nothing to do with nothing. Like, my man ain't got nothing to do with me not taking you back and forth to work. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever, like, just irrelevant stuff, right? So, or you back and forth to school or whatever, okay? So, I hope that the story is not all over the place. I feel like I am. I hope y'all following me, right? So, so recap. She moves in with us. We do this back and forth thing. Me taking her to school, then me going to school, me then going to Votech, because I do school half a day, Votech the other half of the day. Go to Votech, and then go to work, get her from work. So get up extra early, take her, go to school, Votech, work, pick her up from work, come home. So we did this for probably, I want to say maybe a month or two, something like that, before I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't not do it no more. So when I told her, I didn't tell her again in person. I told her over the phone or whatever. So, and I want to say it was through a text message. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Shoot me, guys. I'm passive aggressive. I didn't want to just, you know, be like, listen, bitch. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. And especially when, you know, when you're dealing with somebody that's not going to take that kind of stuff well, it's like, listen, if you want me to continue to take you, then you know what? It wasn't about the gas money. Even though it was low-key about the gas, too. That wasn't my biggest thing. I told her that she's going to have to get somebody to take her to school in the morning. Yeah, I know I should have, like, wrote down key points and stuff, but this is off the dome. And it's coming back to me again. This happened in, like, 2005. So she ended up, I told her that she's going to have to get somebody to take her to school. Hold on. So, yeah, you guys. So, I told her, I had texted her or whatever and told her, hey, you know, I'm not going to be able to take you to school in the mornings. Can you get somebody else? Or you're going to have to get somebody else to take you, blah, 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 blah. But I told her, but I can come get you from work, whatever. So, she had a problem with that. So, whenever I told her that, she responded, like, with attitude, with aggression, all of this going off on me. And I'm like, well, I can't do it. Like, I just can't. It's a lot for me to have to do this. You know, explaining exactly what I told y'all. Going all the way across town, coming back, doing X, Y, and Z that I have to do for myself, and then coming back to get you in the evening. It's just too much for me. And she didn't have no understanding of that. She wasn't feeling that. It pissed her the fuck off. And, I mean, that's fine, too, that you are pissed off. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm telling you is, I'm not going to be able to do this. I have a lot on my plate as a young lady trying to get my schooling and stuff finished and maintain being a single parent. And now I'm low-key having to be a parent to you. Okay, you know, that might be a bit of a drag, but you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to do all of that, right? So, she's wah, you know, talking her shit. I believe that I just stopped responding. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I want to, this might not mean nothing, but it kind of do to why I was just like, okay, girl, whatever. Because at this time of my life, I was smoking the lettuce, the tree, you know, that stuff. So, not that stuff, because that stuff sounded like, that sounded like the crack. That was what it was. Like, I was smoking, you know, Mary, okay? So, I just kind of, you know, we smoke is just like, you don't really be tripping. Like, I don't, girl, I said what I said. I'm not going to be going back and forth with you. Like, you just be real chill. At least for me, that's how it affected me. I was very chill whenever I smoked. So, I want to say that was probably why I was just like, okay, girl, whatever. Okay, so, because I believe after Votech, I had to go straight to work. So she ended up coming, after all of this happened, she ended up coming to my house, and I kept a key under the, or we kept a key, you know, like most people do, under the rug or whatever, okay? So we had the key, and she ended up being able to get in the house. So she ended up coming in the house while I was gone, right? So when I came back, I had makeup. Even though I didn't wear a lot of makeup back then, I still don't wear a lot of makeup now. But I wear more today than I did then. But I had a lot of makeup because I like to plan makeup and stuff too. And she did too. Like, she had a bunch of her own makeup, but I've always been into hair and stuff. So I had, you know, a lot of different hair stuff and all of that. But y'all, when I came home, she had stole my makeup and like face products, and she had stolen my my flat irons. And so and of course she had like the stuff that she had at the house, she had taken, you know, with her or whatever. And I'm just like, girl, really? Like, why would you steal from me? So okay, I'm kind of like thrown off because I feel like I ain't do nothing to you. You know what I'm saying? But tell you that I wasn't going to be available to take you to school in the morning. And you know what, y'all? It was either I couldn't pick her up from work in the evening, or school, I couldn't take her to school in the morning. It was one or the other, but I was like, I'll still be able to do one of the two that it was, but I couldn't do both. It was just too much. So all I did was tell you that I wasn't going to be available to do something for you, and that you would need to find, you know, make other arrangements. And you come into you get upset about that, you know, make this big old deal out of shit, and then you steal from me? Like, you stole from me. So mind you, she was talking all this big shit earlier, doing all of the back and forth. No, scratch that. It wasn't no back and forth, but she was doing a lot of, you know, she had a whole lot to say, talking all of this shit or whatever. Because I'm sure she was frustrated with what she had going on in her life. I understand that, you know, as an adult now, but I didn't do it. I didn't cause none of that. So for you to be like taking that shit out on me and talking to me crazy and all of that was way out of pocket, right? So then to come and steal was even more out of pocket. Like, I really cannot believe that you would motherfucking do that. Like, really? So that's what you think of me because I can't take you to work or take you to school or whatever. Like, you already staying here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then she had friends. Like, she had friends. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what their, like, their lives were like or anything like that. But just to have everything on me, to put all of that weight on me and that responsibility on me, it's fucked up. And to, like, be upset about it is even more so fucked up. But I think that is just the kind of person that she was. And, you know, like, again, I get it with being frustrated with life and being young and trying to find your way and all of that. You just be wanting some help, but you have to understand nobody's entitled. You're not entitled to anybody's time or their resources. Like, you're just not. So at this point, I'm calling because, okay, passive aggressiveness. I mean, I guess I'm on my aggressiveness now because I'm pissed. I'm pissed. Like, and not even so much, it's more like my feelings is hurt. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that kind of like, really, my girl? Like, you came in here and you stole my little shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? And as an adult now, it's like, okay, it was just a flat iron. It was just a little makeup. But more so, it's the principle. You know what I'm saying? But even back then, like, girl, I'm working this little job. You know what I'm saying? I buy my little stuff. How dare you, okay? Come take my little her store flat irons or Walmart flat irons or wherever I got them from, girl. I can't even remember, but and my little Walmart makeup and her store makeup and all the things, because it definitely was not MAC or Ulta or Sephora. Like, it was definitely like Walmart and the hair store. But that's neither here nor there. It's mine, not yours. Don't be taking or touching my shit without my permission. So I'm calling her. Y'all, this girl is not answering my phone calls, not answering my phone calls. I'm calling. No answer. So I sent her a text message and simply say, bring my stuff back. Like, bring me my stuff. And y'all, she never responded to that text message or anything. The next afternoon, yes, the next afternoon, y'all, I had or evening or whatever. No, I want to say it was afternoon. Maybe this was a weekend at this point. It was afternoon. I had been in the house. Whatever the case is, I had been in the house. I still haven't heard anything from her or anything. So I opened the door, my front door, and I was getting ready to leave. And my makeup was not there, but my flat irons was on my doorstep. Like, and I'm like, really, bitch? Like, how fucking lame and bogus. I mean, okay, granted, she brought me my shit back, right? But just how you talked all of that shit and did all of that, and then you didn't even have enough decency or respect to say, at least say, I dropped your shit off at you know, it's on your front porch, it's on the porch, it's on your front door, whatever. Like, you just dropped it off and left quietly, quiet as a mouse, but you was popping big shit on these messages and shit when you were talking shit, you know, about me or whatever, to me or whatever. Like, and yeah, so that is that little story time. The time that Billy, my bestie, stole from me. And you know, when we had the initial falling out, and I think the girls have fallen out, you know, it just happens. But I'm just not one of them girls that do like a lot of the back and forth stuff, you know, with my friends. Like, I feel like if you have an issue with me or if you're upset with me, you can come to me and just talk to me like, hey, I didn't like the way you did that, or, you know, I felt the way about X, Y, and Z or whatever, and I can respect that. You know what I'm saying? And I can be mindful, you know, and take your feelings and stuff into consideration and apply it moving forward. But all of that popping off and acting silly and stuff, like, I've just never been that girl to do that back and forth stuff with my friends. I've never been a messy chick. I don't like the drama. It's not my thing. Now, if something is brought to me, you know, I don't mind getting zary. But I'm not going and looking for nothing or trying to, even when I'm approaching stuff like that frustrates me or bothers me, I tend to really not just say nothing. To be honest, that's something that I need to work on. But yeah, like, definitely not going off on nobody about my issues, you know, with them, like my friends and stuff. Like, I don't know, I just don't like that kind of stuff. It's a real ugly, it's real nasty, and I think there are better ways to approach things that bother you when you're dealing with your friends. But like back and forth on and off friendships, I just don't like that. I don't do back and forth on and off relationships, period. Like, once it's over, it's over. But me and this girl, we had that issue with what I told y'all, a little story that I told y'all about at the beginning, where she had got upset with me about wanting me to go with her to junior prom after party or after prom or whatever it was. She was wanting me to go with her, and I told her I didn't want to go. She got upset and started talking shit. It was a whole debacle behind that. I was like, girl, you tripping. Like, I'm still gonna stay here with my man. I don't want to go. Why are you mad at me because I don't want to go? Like, that's wild. Like, and you have your whole friend group, and you know, I love you too, but I don't want to go. First of all, her friends and stuff was cool, but them not my friends. They're not my friends. I don't want to go hang out with them. I don't want to. I don't want to do that. Like, I would rather be here with my mans, and that's what the fuck I did. So we fell out about that, or she fell out with me. I ain't even gonna say we fell out. She fell out with me, and then when she came back around, we kind of got cool. And I really can't remember. Like I said, y'all, smoked a lot of tree during that time. I can't exactly recall how we like rekindled our friendship, our bond, or whatever. But we ended up getting back cool and she moved in. And then she turned around and pulled this stunt a few months later. And it's just like, you know, when people show you who they are, although people grow and change as they mature and things like that, which is great. But some people are better. It's better that you love them from a distance because it just be bullshit, right? But I have another story time about her. And you know what? Let me just say this other little story time. So my very first boyfriend and all the things or whatever, he was a little bit older. I want to say it was my summer. No, I was going to 8th grade. Like, it was the end of my 8th grade year going to 9th grade, when him and I were like, you know, really kicking it or whatever. And she would low-key, like, just whenever in retrospect you just kind of look back at stuff, she would like low-key hate on that because he had a job, and like, girl, he worked at McDonald's, honey, but he was like 16. Yeah, he was just 15, 16 or something. So, you know, we would go, you know, mess with him while he was at his job, go to the drive-thru or whatever when he worked in the drive-thru. We just mess with him and stuff. But she would do stuff like to try to like kind of break us up. And me and him ended up talking again in our adult years, and he had like mentioned her to me and was like saying like, because I ain't really paying no attention. You know, when you're young, you really don't pay stuff no attention. You kind of just laugh it off like, girl, you are stupid. You know what I'm saying? But she would do stuff and say little stuff to try to like, you know, so people low key, like, I don't even want to, I hate using the word like haters, like somebody's been a hater, but people be low key like jealous, or, and not even so much jealous like of so much that you have something, but not wanting you to like wanting all of your attention, your time, your, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people be like needy. People be needy. You know, they be want all of you. And it's like, now you got this little dude that you liking on, and y'all trying to be serious, and he nice to you and he treats you good. Like, so anyway, I don't know, y'all. I'm just rambling at this point. Peace, love, and light. I will come back with the second part of that video. Well, not the second part, but the continuation, because I've been recording now for over 30 minutes, so I don't want it to be too long. Of course, I'm gonna have to chop a lot of this out because I'm just rambling and rambling and rambling. But, you know, I haven't seen y'all in a long time. I'm back, girl. So, yeah. Peace and light. Bye.